Most men think a woman becomes addicted through touch, through physical intensity. But here's the secret women will never tell you. Her body is only half the battlefield. The real war happens in her mind. A man who knows how to enter her thoughts, who knows how to make her restless without laying a finger on her, he's the one she can't forget. He's the one she dreams about at night. He's the one who makes her stare at her phone, waiting for his message, aching for his presence. Touch fades, looks fade. But when you own her psychology, you own her desire. And today, I'll show you exactly how to make a woman addicted to you without ever touching her. The fantasy of being owned without contact. Here's the truth women will never confess out loud. The most intoxicating experiences they crave aren't always physical. Yes, touch excites them, but what really makes them addicted is when a man enters their mind and refuses to leave. The fantasy of being owned without him even laying a hand on her, that's the kind of pull that keeps her up at night. Think about it. Any man can touch her body. That's easy. That's common. But very few men can touch her mind, plant themselves inside her imagination and build a kind of sexual gravity that makes her ache for more, even in silence. That's where addiction begins. This fantasy is about power, not force, not domination in the crude sense but the power of presence. When you carry yourself with calm authority, when you speak in a way that makes her feel both seen and unsettled, when you leave gaps of silence that make her lean in, you're not just talking to her, you're wrapping invisible hands around her desire. Here's the secret. Women are wired to fantasize about surrender, not weakness surrender. The idea of being wanted so deeply that she loses control, the thrill of being claimed by a man who doesn't even need to touch her to make her body respond, that's the silent obsession she'll never admit. And you create it not by chasing, not by over-explaining, but by embodying calm dominance. Picture this. You're sitting across from her. Instead of filling the space with nervous chatter, you pause. You hold eye contact just a moment longer than comfortable. You lower your voice when you speak, making her lean closer. You let your words drip slowly, with certainty, with weight. You don't tell her what you want. You let her imagination race to fill the blanks. In that moment, she feels the tension wrapping around her like invisible ropes. No touch, just presence. That's the psychology behind this fantasy. Anticipation is more powerful than action. Neuroscience backs it up. Dopamine spikes not during the reward itself, but in the build-up, the suspense, the almost. By staying untouching yet commanding, you keep her locked in that addictive cycle of craving. And here's where most men fail. They rush, they go straight for touch, thinking physicality equals intimacy. But when you rush, you rob her of the build-up. You kill the tension that could have enslaved her thoughts for days. The Stoic man understands this. He knows his restraint is his weapon. The longer he withholds, the more her desire grows. This is why some women get hooked on men who barely lift a finger. It's not about what he does, it's about how he makes her feel in the space between. The way his calm silence makes her self-conscious. The way his eyes strip her soul instead of her clothes. The way his words carry authority without begging. That's the addiction, being owned in spirit before being touched in flesh. So if you want to make her addicted without touching her, step into this space. Slow down, lower your voice, let silences do the heavy lifting. Speak with certainty, as if every word is a command disguised as conversation. Make her feel like she belongs to you, even when you've done nothing but look at her. Because the greatest addiction isn't sparked by hands on skin, it's sparked by a man who owns her mind. How eye contact makes her weak. If there's one weapon most men underestimate, it's their eyes. Touch excites her body, but your eyes can enslave her mind. Women are wired to feel exposed. Under a man's gaze, especially when he holds it without flinching, without nervousness, without apology. That's why eye contact, done right, makes her weak, and why it can make her addicted without you even laying a hand on her. Think about this. Most men break eye contact too soon. They look away nervously, laugh to ease the tension, or distract themselves with their phone. And in that moment, they surrender the unspoken battle. Because eye contact isn't just looking, it's dominance. It's presence. It's silent authority that tells her, I see you, all of you. Here's the psychological truth. Women crave to be seen. Not just noticed for their looks, but seen at a deeper level. When you hold her gaze, you strip away her masks. She feels naked without you touching her. Vulnerable, exposed. And the more she tries to hold steady, the more she feels the tension coil inside her. Picture this. You're across from her at dinner. Instead of filling the air with chatter, you let your eyes lock onto hers while you speak slowly, deliberately. You don't rush. You don't blink nervously. You let the silence do half the talking. Suddenly she's fidgeting with her glass, playing with her hair, looking away and back again. That's not boredom, that's desire. That's her body reacting to the intensity of being seen. This is why eye contact creates more sexual tension than most men realize. Neuropsychology shows that prolonged gazes increase oxytocin and adrenaline. It triggers the same response as physical closeness, except you've done nothing but look. That's how powerful it is. But here's the secret. It's not about staring like a creep. It's about controlled, intentional eye contact. Too much, and you look unhinged. Too little, and you look weak. The balance lies in holding it just long enough to make her uncomfortable, in the best possible way. Long enough that she feels the heat rise in her body, but short enough that she craves more. And here's where Stoicism comes in. The Stoic man doesn't use eye contact to beg for connection. He uses it to project calm presence. He looks at her as if he's already chosen her, but doesn't need her. That calm certainty is addictive because it makes her feel like prey caught in a silent hunt. Notice how her body reacts when you hold her gaze. She might look away quickly, pretending to be distracted. She might laugh nervously, trying to break the tension. She might even challenge you back with her own stare. But no matter how she reacts, her body is telling you one thing. She feels the pull. When you master this, you don't just make her look at you, you make her think about you long after the moment ends. She'll replay it in her mind. Why couldn't I hold his eyes? Why did it make me feel that way? And every time she thinks about it, the addiction grows. Because the truth is, a man who can undress her soul with his eyes, doesn't need to touch her body to make her weak. Controlling her through silence. Most men are terrified of silence. The moment a pause lingers in a conversation, they scramble to fill it with jokes, stories, compliments, anything to keep her entertained. But what they don't realize is that silence, when mastered, is one of the most powerful tools of seduction. Silence makes her restless. Silence makes her lean in. Silence makes her crave your approval without you lifting a finger. Here's the psychology. Women are wired to test men's composure. She'll throw curveballs in conversation, act disinterested, even let things go quiet just to see how you handle it. The weak man panics. He starts oversharing, cracking nervous jokes, or asking, "Are you okay?" That kills attraction instantly. Why? Because it screams insecurity. But the Stoic man, he embraces silence. He knows that stillness isn't emptiness, it's pressure, it's tension, it's control. When you let the air hang heavy after she speaks, you make her feel the weight of your presence. She starts fidgeting, playing with her hair, biting her lip. She fills the silence for you, giving away more than she intended. In that moment, you're not just listening, you're controlling the rhythm of the interaction without a single word. Think of silence like foreplay for the mind. Every pause builds anticipation. Every second you withhold a response forces her to wonder, what is he thinking? Did I say something wrong? Does he see through me? That uncertainty is addictive. Because uncertainty breeds obsession. Picture this. You're sitting across from her. She finishes telling a story, expecting you to jump in with praise or jokes like every other man. Instead, you just pause. You hold her gaze. You let the silence stretch. Suddenly she's talking faster, filling the space, trying to pull a reaction out of you. And you? You stay calm, collected, unbothered. She doesn't realize it, but she's already chasing you. Silence also sharpens your words. When you finally break it, every phrase lands harder. Imagine whispering, after a long pause, "I like the way you look at me." The weight of that line isn't in the words. It's in the silence that came before. Without touching her, you've already shifted the air between you into something heavy, charged, electric. Neuroscience backs this up. Our brains release dopamine during moments of suspense, not resolution. That's why cliffhangers are addictive. Silence is your cliffhanger. It makes her brain release the very chemicals that keep her hooked. And she won't even realize you're doing it. She'll just know she can't stop thinking about you. But here's the key. Silence only works if you're comfortable with it. If you fidget, look around, or seem nervous, it backfires. You must sit in it with absolute calm, like a man who commands the room without effort. That composure tells her you're not desperate for approval. You're not trying to win her. You're letting her earn you. So the next time you're tempted to fill the gap with words, don't. Breathe. Wait. Hold eye contact. Let her feel the silence press against her. Because in that stillness, she'll feel your dominance more than if you shouted. And that's how you control her without ever touching her. Because silence in the hands of a stoic man isn't empty. It's addictive. So here's the truth. Addiction doesn't begin with hands on her skin. It begins in her mind. The way you look at her, the way you hold silence, the way your presence claims space without effort. Those are the things that make her restless when you're gone. That's what makes her replay conversations in her head, staring at her phone, waiting for your next move. Most men chase with touch. They try to impress, to please, to grab what they can get. But the stoic man, he knows real power lies in restraint. He undresses her mind before her body. He owns her through silence. He makes her weak through eye contact. And by the time he touches her, if he even chooses to, she's already his. Because women aren't addicted to men who give them everything too quickly. They're addicted to the man who leaves them hungry. The man who knows he doesn't need to touch to control. Now the question is, will you keep being the man who talks too much, chases too hard, touches too soon? Or will you step into the presence of a man who makes her addicted without lifting a finger? If you want more of these forbidden insights, the kind women hope you'll never learn, hit that subscribe button right now. And drop the word addicted in the comments if you're ready to own her mind before her body. Because once you master this, she won't just want you. She won't just like you. She'll crave you.